One stormy night, while the sky roared with thunder and the sea raged with waves taller than houses, a boy named Tommy wandered along the beach, his feet sinking into wet sand as he searched for seashells and driftwood. But what he found instead changed his life forever, for hidden between two jagged rocks lay a compass that glowed with a golden light, unlike anything he had ever seen before, and when he picked it up the needle spun in wild circles before stopping sharply, pointing straight out toward the restless sea. And though Tommy's heart pounded with fear, he felt an even stronger pull of curiosity and wonder that made him clutch the compass tighter. And as he stepped closer to the waves, the tide seemed to whisper his name as though the ocean itself was calling him. So he bravely walked forward, expecting the water to crash over him. But instead something miraculous happened. The sea parted before him, creating a tunnel of swirling liquid light that shimmered like crystal glass, and with every step he took the compass glowed warmer, guiding him into a secret world hidden beneath the surface, until he stood in awe at an underwater kingdom more magical than anything he had ever dreamed of, where dolphins leapt gracefully through glowing currents and spoke in cheerful voices, schools of fish darted around him like shooting stars, and enormous turtles swam with shells that shone like emerald crowns. And though Tommy was afraid, the beauty of this place filled his heart with courage, and he realized that this compass was not ordinary but a magical key to adventures beyond imagination. And as he followed the glowing path, he reached a grand coral palace rising like a castle carved from gems, and from within appeared the Queen of the Sea, tall and radiant with a crown shaped from frozen waves, her voice echoing like 1,000 streams flowing together, who told Tommy that the ocean had chosen him, for their world was in grave danger, because the ocean's heart, a crystal of pure light that gave every creature strength and glow, had been stolen by a dark whirlpool in the deepest trench, and now the dolphins were losing their songs, the turtles their energy, the fish their shine, and if it was not restored soon, the entire ocean would sink into eternal shadow. And though Tommy felt small and weak, the compass in his hand glowed as if to say he had been chosen for a reason, and in that moment he promised the Queen he would follow wherever it led him, no matter how dangerous the journey might be. Tommy gripped the glowing compass tighter as the Queen of the Sea's words echoed in his mind, and though fear scratched at the edges of his courage, he felt a strange certainty that this journey was meant for him. So when the Queen stretched out her hand, a swirl of water shaped itself into a silver dolphin that bowed before him, offering to carry him into the deeper parts of the ocean, and Tommy climbed onto its smooth back, holding the compass in one hand while the dolphin sped through glowing currents that twisted like tunnels of starlight, past coral gardens and forests of swaying kelp, each alive with creatures that looked both wondrous and worried, their colors already beginning to fade without the ocean's heart. And as they traveled further, the water around them grew darker and colder, shadows pressing in from every side, until only the compass glowed like a lantern in the night, steady and true, and Tommy leaned closer to it, trusting its guidance when he had nothing else, and soon he began to notice strange carvings on the rocks they passed, shapes of spirals and stars that seemed to hum softly as if whispering forgotten secrets, and the dolphin told him these were ancient marks left by the guardians of the sea, protectors who once kept the ocean's heart safe, but now their powers were weakened by the whirlpool's curse, leaving only traces of their strength behind. And hearing this filled Tommy with both awe and determination, for he realized he was stepping into a story far older and greater than himself, yet his part in it was now vital. And as they pressed on, a sudden movement in the darkness caught his eye, a shimmer of silver scales darting toward him, and before he could react a school of glowing fish surrounded him, not threatening but singing in a language that seemed to flow directly into his heart, and their song carried a message. The compass shows the way, but the heart must be brave, and with that they scattered like stars disappearing into the night, leaving Tommy with a deeper understanding that the compass could guide him but his own courage would decide the outcome. And soon the dolphin slowed, stopping near a vast canyon that plunged into the depths below, darker than anything Tommy had ever seen, a place where the water itself seemed heavy with silence and dread. And the dolphin whispered that beyond this canyon lay the whirlpool that had stolen the ocean's heart, but to reach it, Tommy would have to descend alone, for no creature dared approach the cursed place. And though his chest tightened with fear, he looked at the compass glowing steadily in his palm and nodded, sliding off the dolphin's back and diving down into the trench, the pressure of the deep squeezing him from all sides while shadows slithered along the rocks. But he kept moving downward, one stroke at a time, determined to prove that even the smallest person could shine light in the darkest depths. As Tommy descended deeper into the trench, the water grew colder and the darkness thickened until it seemed like the ocean itself wanted to swallow him whole. but the golden compass in his hand shone brighter, cutting through the shadows like a beacon, and he followed its steady pull even as strange whispers echoed through the water, voices of the whirlpool's curse trying to fill his mind with fear, and though his heart trembled he kept going, until at last he saw it. The terrible whirlpool twisting violently at the bottom of the trench, a monstrous spiral of black water pulling everything toward its endless core, and at its very center glimmered the faint light of the ocean's heart, flickering weakly as though it were dying, but circling around it were serpents as long as ships, their scales glittering with malice and their eyes glowing red, guardians of darkness who hissed and lashed their tails through the water, sending currents so strong they nearly knocked Tommy off course. Yet the compass glowed fiercely in his palm, pointing him forward, and Tommy realized that the light it gave was not only to guide his path but also to protect him from the darkness, so he swam closer, dodging the serpents, strikes and gripping jagged rocks to steady himself against the whirlpool's pull, and as he reached a ledge near the edge of the spiral, he held the compass high, its golden glow blazing so brightly that the serpents recoiled in pain, their coils twisting away from the light, and Tommy, seizing the moment, dove directly into the whirlpool, the force dragging him downward as water roared in his ears, but instead of resisting he let the compass guide him, trusting its glow with all his heart, and the needle pointed straight to the crystal, so he stretched out his hand with every ounce of strength and at last touched the ocean's heart, and the instant his fingers brushed its surface, warmth spread through him, stronger than any fear, as if the sea itself flowed into his veins, and the whirlpool shuddered, slowing its terrible spin as cracks of light spread across the darkness, signaling that the ocean's heart was awakening in his grasp. The moment Tommy clutched the ocean's heart firmly, its glow burst forth like a sunrise breaking through endless night, and the whirlpool collapsed in on itself, its monstrous spiral dissolving into streams of silver light that spread across the trench, chasing away the shadows, while the serpents shrieked and vanished into the darkness, never to return, and as the waters stilled, the ocean's heart pulsed in his hands, brighter and stronger than ever, its light flowing outward through the sea, reaching the dolphins, the turtles, the fish, and every hidden creature, restoring their voices, their colors, their strength, and suddenly the ocean around him came alive with songs of joy. Schools of glowing fish danced around him like stars, and the dolphins leapt with renewed energy, their voices ringing in harmony, while the turtles swam gracefully, their shells sparkling once again, and the queen of the sea appeared before him, her form brighter and more beautiful than before, thanking Tommy with a smile that shimmered like sunlight through water, telling him that his bravery had restored life to their world, and as a final gift, she touched the compass, sealing its golden glow within so that it would always respond to his heart whenever he needed courage, and with that blessing, the currents carried him gently upward until he emerged back on the shore where his journey had begun, the storm long gone, the sky clear, and the stars shining brightly above, and as he looked at the compass in his hand, no longer just a mysterious object but a symbol of courage, he understood the truth of what he had done, that being brave did not mean being fearless, but choosing to act for others even when the path was hard and the dangers were great, and so the moral of the story is that true bravery lies in using your heart to guide you, helping those in need, and believing that even the smallest person can bring light to the darkest places.